Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Amanda. I am starting my life over after divorce at age 40. And this channel is all about my journey to freedom after divorce. I'm very actively and purposefully pursuing God as I reset my life, or rather as I allow him to reset my life. So if you want to be a part of that journey, I'm grateful to have you here, and I encourage you to continue watching. So for the returning subscribers, thank you guys so much for watching my videos. If you guys will remember, a couple videos ago we did a study on reset. The Lord had given me a prophetic word about that and encouraged me to begin to study that out, and we are going to continue on that study. But for this particular video, you guys know I like to move with God and to listen as he speaks. And so one of the things that he was speaking during my time with him, you guys know that I kept having those dreams about the Lord just kind of letting me know that it's time for me to move. And so I've been pursuing him on how he wants to do that. But there is a activity or exercise that I have in one of my products that the Lord encouraged me to go back and do that exercise. I've done it before, and that's why it's in there, but he just encouraged me to go back and do it again. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. So this is the exercise that I have in my product here, and it's actually exercise 1. And the product is about exactly what I'm doing. It's about starting over after divorce, and it's about really taking the time to plan what you're going to do with God. And so it's a planner, but it's not your traditional planner where, it's got the months and the dates and anything like that. It's really just guided exercises to take you on a journey to thinking about your life and planning it out with God in a very intentional way. And so I've done that before. You guys know on the last video I was telling you this is the second time I've had to start over. I had to start over once right after the separation, and now I'm having to do it again after the divorce. And so I've done this exercise before, but it was for a different season, right? And so now this is a new season, this is a new chapter, this is a reset. And so the Lord encouraged me to do it again. And so that's what I'm going to do here with you guys, because there may be someone that needs to do the same thing, or maybe you've never heard anything about this kind of thing, and I just want to take you guys on the journey. The whole exercise is about really sitting down with God and planning out what you're going to do with him. And so because he's already been speaking to me about moving in those dreams, I know that that's what's on his heart, and that is certainly what's on my heart. But I know from experience that when you're trying to start over, what will happen is, especially when you're a single mom and you have a lot of responsibilities, you have some plans and some things that you want to do, but those things you can only make progress on those things after you handle all of your responsibilities, right? And so what ends up happening very often is that you will set up in your mind to do something, and it will be months before you can make any progress, because the responsibility things end up sucking up all of your time, all of your energy, all of your resources, all of your efforts, and you just can't make any progress on those things that you're trying to do that are new additions to your routine. And so that's kind of been my frustration for a while. And so one of the things I wanted to do with this exercise is just really sit back and think, okay, I'm really at a place where I want to restart, and I really want to have a new journey in terms of my life and how it looks and the things that I'm able to accomplish. But I want to be able to do that with God. Like, that's really my heart. I really want to be able to commune with him and sit with him and have him be more of a priority. And I haven't been able to do that. And so when I go and look at this exercise and I sit back and I think, what exactly, if I had to think of a picture representation of what I want my relationship with God to look like, um, what I thought to myself was a vacation, right? I thought to myself, okay, if me and God were able to be on a deserted island and just, like on vacation, I'm sitting on some lounge chairs on this beautiful beach, and it just be me and him, and we just be able to talk to each other and enjoy the sunshine and the quiet, and just, me hear his heart, he hear my heart, and just commune with one another. And so that's the picture that I get of saying, all right, moving forward, this is what I want my relationship with God to look like. I want there to be a peace and a rest that I'm able to attain as I spend time with him. But more important is that I'd like that to be more of a priority and something that I'm able to attain more often. It may not be realistic that I can do it every day, but the idea that, a week or 2 weeks could go by and I not have that, I don't want that to be a reality going forward, because it's just not feasible, right? When you're trying to rebuild your life and you're in this really low, desolate place where you feel like you're not seeing any fruit of anything positive, you can't go days without, God breathing on you and God speaking to you and comforting you. Like, you just can't do that because you just don't have anything else that brings you joy the way that he does, right? And so when you're in those hard times and those hard places in your life, God has to be a huge priority. He has to be very tangible, and your relationship with him has to grow deeper, because otherwise you just won't make it. You'll be one of these people that turns to drugs, or that, turns to, worse. And so you just won't be able, like, he has to be the one carrying you. And so as I begin to, hear him on the reset and understand what the practical, physical part of that looks like, I have to spiritually make him a priority. Like, that has to be at the forefront, because I don't have the strength to do any of what he's asking me if I can't make that a priority. And so I think that's one of the reasons why he had me stop and do this exercise, to just kind of visualize whenever, life is lifing, that, this is what my goal is. This is what we're trying to get to. And so one of the things, as I was thinking about this exercise, I was thinking about, how do you actually attain that? Like, it's one thing to say that's what I want, but it's another thing to actually understand how do you attain that. And so one of the things that I've realized in my life is that I really have to get focused. And it's not that I'm like not focused on my goals, but the idea of, I've spent a lot of my life being a people pleaser, right? And I have learned not to do that with everybody, but I really still struggle with it with my family. And I'm at a place right now where God is calling me to do something that is non-conventional, that is different than what everybody else is doing. And I'm not going to be able to do that if I continue to be distracted. And by distracted, what I mean is, I think in society today, people have gotten to where they don't want to be still and rest. And they're so used to going, doing, and always filling their time with something. For example, I've been taught in my life that, you work. Like, that's what you do. You work. And so I got my first job at age 14, and I've worked 2 jobs for about 90% of my life. But over the past 5 years, as I talked about in my last video, the Lord has really spoken to me and gotten on me about letting him be my provider. And this idea that in the garden, Adam and Eve did not, like, it was never their job to provide for themselves. God provided everything that they needed. And so really moving from that mindset of grind, work, to just rest and be and focus on what God's called you to do. And so in order to do that, it's not so much as what you have to do, but what you have to let go of, what you have to stop doing, right? And so God has been walking me on a journey of, I can't do that anymore, right? I don't have his blessing or permission to continue to grind. And so when people see you not grinding, but yet not yet in the promised land, they look at you like you're lazy, like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And for some people that may be the case, but for somebody who's worked since they were 14, like that's just not the case with me. I'm just not the kind of person that's just like, oh, I don't want to work and I don't want to do this. But it's really, I have to move with God, right? I have to do what he's saying to do. And so I've been there, done that, where I've worked multiple jobs, or I had a little side hustle over here while I worked a main job. And I'm telling you, it just long term, it doesn't work. It just does not work. Your focus is split. If you're a single parent, you're not going to be able to be a good parent and work a job and have a business, and like you just cannot. It's not sustainable. Long term, it's not sustainable. You're not going to be able to do it long term. And so I'm at a place in my life where, with what I've had to go through with the divorce and child custody, it was so incredibly stressful. And I was already working a corporate job that was incredibly stressful, to the point where I was having migraines every day. And so literally the stress got so bad that at my lowest, I was only 87 pounds. Like, I'm still struggling with trying to gain weight back and be healthy from all of the stress. So physically, I cannot continue to grind and work two jobs. Like, I can't do it. And so I have to let go of those things. But doing what God has called me to do, I know he will bring, the wealth and the things that I need. But being able to just say, I'm sorry that you don't understand what God is doing right now, but I have to be obedient. That is a hard thing to do for me. It's just hard. And so that's one of the things that the Lord was speaking to me during this exercising, during my time with him, is he was letting me know, if you want us to get to that island that you're visualizing, you're going to have to tell people no. Like, I understand that you are not comfortable just sitting and resting and doing nothing when you have nothing to do, but I have to be. No, I can't be a part of X, Y, and Z that you want to do. No, I can't. When I don't have anything to do, I need to continue to not have anything to do. I need to make that be my time with God. Like, I can't have it be every free minute that I get, I make myself available to do something for you. I've spent most of my life doing that. And even though I love helping people, I can't do that in this season. I just can't, because I'm never going to get to that island, and I'm never going to be able to accomplish the goals that God is giving me. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it if I'm spending all my time helping people. And helping people is a great thing. You want to help people, but you want to do it through the lens of, this is what God's called me to do, and these are the particular people that God's called me to help. Because I am telling you, I have spent my life doing things that seem like good things, but that aren't God things. And at the end of the day, they don't bear fruit. And what I mean by that is, there's no change in that person's life, and they end up using you as a crutch, to where they always need your help. You're not helping them so that they can get on their feet. You're helping them habitually, and that's not helping them. And so I have to learn to say, listen, this is what God's called me to do for this season, and I have to be laser focused on that. And that means I'm going to have to tell you no. And that's a hard thing for me in the season that I am in my life, because of where I'm at right now. I'm having to rely on a lot of people for their help. And so to have to turn back and say, I can't help you back, it's hard. It's really hard. And so it's definitely something that I have to say, God, I don't know how to accomplish it. Because this is a lot of, it's so many times where, like, literally recently, I have had to go to God and say, God, I can't do this, but I don't know how to say no. Can you fix this? Literally asking him, can you move this for me? Because I don't want to have to tell this person no. And God is gracious and he does it, but at the end of the day, it's a muscle I'm going to have to exercise and do, right? And so slowly and easily I'm trying to work on it. I have, like I said, I've done it with, those in my outer circle. But now I'm having to do it with people in my inner circle, and it is hard. It is so hard because I just didn't realize how busy people are, and how they, like, they literally, they'll have like a free weekend and they're like, let's go do this, and I'm like, oh no. No. And so is, people see you not doing anything, they're like, well, you don't have anything else to do. Yeah, I don't have anything else to do, so let's keep it like that. So being in that place where you are making God a priority and people are not understanding what that looks like, and because to them it just looks like you don't have anything to do and you're just like being lazy. But getting to that place where you're like, listen, I have to pursue God with everything I have because he has everything I need, right? If you are in a place of lack, the only person that is going to be able to help you get out of that is God. I don't care if it's financial lack. I don't care if it's you needing a house type of a lack. I don't care if it's a health kind of a lack. God is a God of abundance. He's a God of healing. He's a God of provision. And so if you need something from him, then you're going to have to pursue him. And that means that you can't pursue everything, right? You either serve God or serve man. You can't do both. And I didn't realize that basically that's what I had been doing, is serving man, because my time, yes, we have to do the responsible type of things, but there is free time that we have most of the time. And it may not be a lot, but whatever it is, it belongs to God if you're wanting to pursue him. And so that's the first piece of it, is just kind of getting rid of the distractions and getting focused, even if those distractions are somebody wanting you to go do something that might be social or might be family related or might even be, something that's good, that's, biblical, but that's not for now. Right? If God is speaking something to you for now that is pertinent to your life, it is not for everybody. And there will be people that don't understand. But if they're asking you to do something and it is keeping you from doing what God told you to do, you can't serve him and them. It has to be one or the other. And so I am just at a place in my life where I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I have been on this journey for incredibly too long, and I'm just not willing to keep spinning my wheels. I'm just not. And if that means that I've got to, say no to some people, then that's what I'm going to have to do. And I hope that they'll be okay with it, but I can't be worried about that right now. Like I just can't, because being worried about that has had me still in this place. So I just can't do it. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and that I was really talking to God about, let me look at my notes here because I'm forgetting. The other thing I wanted to talk about, remember when I was saying about when you are, have a lot of responsibilities and you kind of have to give God the time after you accomplish all those responsibilities. One of the things that God was telling me is to really go back and look at how to accomplish those responsibilities in a way that is rest, right? I was saying how God has really taught me over the years to not go after grinding, and to really just, pull those things out of my life that have just been grind. But he was showing me that a lot of the responsible things that I'm doing have been grinding as well, right? Like I have standards and things that I like of a certain way or certain standard that I like to do the things that are just responsible things in my life. And the Lord was letting me know that the way that you're going about doing it is not serving you, right? Your standards are very high and very good standards, but they're not realistic standards for where you are right now in your life, right? You don't have the capacity to do what you used to do when you did not have, all of the other stress that you're having to deal with right now, right? And so I can't meet those same standards. And so I have to reevaluate, okay, you know, not doing these things is not an option, and half doing them is not an option, but doing them to the same standard as previous is also not an option. And so really looking through even the baseline responsible stuff and saying, all right, this isn't feasible, and this is contributing to why I'm so stressed out, right? And so how many of you can relate to that, where you have all of these responsibilities that you have to have as a single parent, and you don't necessarily have to do them the way you're doing them, right? There's more than one way to skin a cat. And so even asking God, what is your wisdom on even how to do that? And so I've had to do that and really ask God for like wisdom on how to, accomplish, the parenting and the, helping with homework and just life stuff that I'm having to do, and car issues and just all of the things that just are normal that have to be dealt with. They don't have to be dealt with in a way that's stressful, right? When God created the heavens and the earth and he rested on the seventh day, the Sabbath wasn't about that particular day. It was about the concept of rest, because his plan was that we would learn to that we would commune with him away from all of the distractions on the Sabbath, and that Sabbath would permeate into the other six, so that it would get to where there's no difference between the two, that because we still live in that place of rest all 7 days, right? It's kind of like the tithe, right? When you pay your tithes, the whole point of paying the tithe is that you pay the 10% and then it blesses the other 90. So the whole 100 is blessed, right? So the whole 100 functions as if it has been prayed over and blessed, like, the miracle that Jesus did with the 5,000, right? He prayed over the 2 fishes and the 5 loaves, and then the entire thing was blessed. And so that's the concept of the tithe. And it's the same concept with the Sabbath. It's, you give me this one day and I will show you how to make your whole life be like this one day. And so in order for him to do, and that's what basically he's been trying to do. And that's what he was trying to communicate with me through this exercise is, if you will give me this exercise and really sit with me and dream with me about how you want to live your life with me, I will show you how to turn your life into this picture, right? And that seems counterintuitive, right? It seems counterintuitive that as a single mom that has all these responsibilities, that literally there's never a time when I'm off duty and I'm not mom. It seems counterintuitive that there would ever be a point where my life is this island, right? But the Lord has been showing me that I'm going to show you how to do that. And so I just want to encourage any of you that are having to restart your life like I am, to really start with this kind of an exercise, right? If you will give God priority and you will plan the way he wants your life to go and to look, then when you start doing the actual tangible, these are the steps I'm going to take, he'll show you how to do that in a way where it's rest, where you are like I talked about in that last video, I was telling you guys about, the first time I started my life over and how it was like an earthquake in the desert. And then the second time I started my life over, it was like the Lord moved me over to green pasture. So I'm no longer in this desert. And that's what he's talking about. So many of us as single parents, when we start over, we may be able to increase our income, or we may be able to get a new house, or we may be able to put our kids in private school. We may be able to, defy the odds, so to speak, financially, or, as in terms of what the world looks at us like. But are we doing that in a place of rest? Or are we doing that in a place of grind and stress? Right? Because that's not God's will for us. He doesn't want us to have to be stressed out in order to defy the odds. And with everything that I have had to deal with in my life, and with all of this court stuff and everything, I've had no choice but to allow God to show me how to rest, because learning that is just an important skill when you're surrounded by stressful things and painful things and hurtful things. You will either go into a depressed abyss, or you will go into the presence of God and his rest. There's no in between. That's the only way you're going to be able to get through it. You're either going to be checked out in some dark place and unreachable, or you're going to be with God. But you're not going to, it's no in between. And so, God, life is full of hills and valleys. And when you're in the valley, you're going to need God. And so he has really showed me how to rest in him. But now I have to learn how to bring that rest to the rest of my life. And so I want to encourage you guys to do the same thing. If you're on this journey with me and you have to restart your life, and you are looking around saying, I've been spinning my wheels for years and years, and I don't know why I'm not making no progress, I encourage you to do this. I encourage you to do this exercise and really say, all right, God, what is it? How is it that you want me to accomplish this? Because I think we forget sometimes, especially as single parents, you have had to learn to be a go-getter and to do stuff for yourself, and to just up and do it. If something needs to be done, you do it. And doing that it's a wonderful characteristic to have. But sometimes we get ahead of God, right? We go and do it, and we don't realize until 10 steps in that, wow, I literally did not ask God about this. I did not check in with him. I completely forgot. And we're going to have to get better at not doing that if we want to be able to make progress. Because a lot of times if you do that, God's not slapping your hand about it. But the reality is, you get 10 steps down the road and you realize you haven't made any progress. You've been doing a lot and you've been checking off some boxes, but you're not really making no progress. And so that's not God's plan for us. He wants us to be able to really be able to bear fruit. And so I wanted to just, stop and do this because A, God asked me to, but B, I think it's important. I just think it's important for you guys to see this on the journey. And so thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for following me along on this journey. And next time, hopefully, if God doesn't have any other plans, we will continue on our Bible study. If you missed the Bible study, you want to go back and watch it, that would be great. And if you are interested in the product that I'm using in this video, it is in the description. In the meantime, God bless you on your journey to freedom. Bye-bye.